Okay guys, I'm going to try and give you a really quick review of my 2022 WT2 Heyday. It's got 320 hours on it, and I've had it for just over 2 years right now, 2 years and 1.5 months. We'll go through all of the cons first, every single problem I've had. That's probably what people are most interested in. I guess the two biggest things. Number one is the one that everyone always talks about, the upholstery. Now, I did get my upholstery warranted recently, but these are the old original seats. You can see on this back seat that everyone steps on, you have a little bit of seam separation. It's not that bad. It's actually very livable. A lot of people don't even notice it. These other only four of my cushions had any issues. This one next to it is a bigger issue, but again, so it's a bigger one. And then this front one that everyone always walks over to, it's actually not very bad at all, but where can we see? Yeah, right there. So that's what that's like. So that's probably what you can expect with that amount of usage on your boat. I think some people said that this color is worse, but again, totally you can live with this for years and years still, and then reupholster it for like, I don't know, $5,000 for the entire boat. It's still not a big deal, in my opinion. You can get even better upholstery. The other thing that happened to me was my motor, the pulley for the water impeller went out. Again, was not that big a deal. It was warranted. They replaced it in just a few hours. As soon as they got the part from Mercury, I noticed it right away. And then the only other issue that I had that was anything significant was my screen did go out. There was a bad batch of screens back in 2022 with the power button. So I was affected by that batch. Again, they just sent me a new one, plugged it in. Not a big problem. I was able to use my boat completely with just this smart gauge. That's one of the great things about the Heyday that I was happy is that if your screen dies, you can still have cruise control. What else? Everything else that went bad. So a couple of buttons. So one of these buttons, it's stuck on there so tight, it's still attached actually even to this, that it ripped off of this black strap. Not a big issue for me. I don't use those buttons anyway. There was another one over here that I had it attached on, and one time I took it off and it stuck stronger than this than it did to that strap, so it broke there. What other little minor issues have I had? Down here, so what happened, I'm pretty sure, is they tried to apply an extra final layer of gel coat, even though the gel coat they already did final layer, and this is like the waxy final layer. So what I had is after like about a year or so, it started flaking off, but I just power washed it out. And now it's not an issue. There's no flaking anymore. So again, super small deal. Just had to clean it out. Anything else that was a problem issue? I think that was every single thing that I've had over the 320 hours. So now I'm going to try and do a little overview of just the boat and things I like and dislike. We'll just kind of go from the stern to the bow. Looking at the back, these hot tub seats, they do have a good amount of storage underneath. Some people like to sit in them a lot. For me, I'd rather have a traditional transom where it was easier to take the panels off and access the motor, me personally, and you'd still have the storage. I do like that all of the ballast is subfloor, which is great. That's the supply line, so that's awesome. Oh, the other thing is I had to flip my pumps down. I don't know if it's too dark to see that, but there's my pump, and I had to flip it upside down so that it would not short it out if it leaks slowly from the impeller. So that was the only other thing that I had to do as a potential issue. Moving up to the cockpit area, it's a WT2, so it's pretty small, but it's pretty efficient. I actually have no complaints with the layout or anything. The chair, I did get a slightly taller pedestal. It's about 1.5 or so inches taller. I'm a 5'8" guy, so that kind of just makes it a little nicer for me to see over the window. I like kind of this space that's right here. It's a good space for storing your coolers. and some gear and equipment, so I do like that. Up here in the bow, I like how everything is fiberglass. Like some of the boats, like Centurions, they have these big leather things and all sorts of different materials. I actually like it just to be all smooth, one material, much easier to wipe down. Because this is so small, you have the world's tiniest glove box. So I wish this glove box were a little bit bigger. Up in the bow, it's a good size. There's a lot of storage. One of the changes I made is I actually put a ballast bag in the front. It's a custom bag that wraps around on both sides like a horseshoe. So that just gives me more control over the ballast, and where the weight's placed, so I don't have to ask people to sit up front. Looking at the boat overall, turn my screen back on. I bought these steps. I have the galvanized trailer, so steps weren't an option. That was about 500 bucks. Those were great. Use those all the time. Super useful. That little step pad I have in the front up there, I just got that recently. That's gonna save your seats. We were talking about that at the beginning, the upholstery, but that's gonna save your seats. And then the trailer standard, everybody's got boatmates now. Pretty much all the inboard towboats are boatmate trailers, so that's pretty much standard across the board for most companies. Platform is a great size. Everybody complains that these boats sit high out of the water. I actually don't like having my swim deck below the water. I think it's weird when I have my wakeboard on and I'm trying to like get off the back deck into the water. It's got this nice walk-through transom. It's got the step down all the way through, which is a good design. Like that a lot. I use these foam rollers so it centers my boat every time perfectly. So that's a little tip that somebody might appreciate. The bimini I like a lot. It covers the entire boat, front and back, the entire cockpit area. It's a little bit extra work to put up than some of the other biminis, but it's well worth covering the entire area if you live in a hot, very sunny area, especially for a significant amount of time. If you're looking at buying one of these WT2s, you definitely want to have that trim tab plate. It probably is not 100% necessary on like the WT Surf, but I'd get it anyway. It's only about a $400 option. So I don't see why you wouldn't ever have it optioned out on your boat. So that's something I would look for. If you're looking to buy a boat, that's who this video is targeted at. Okay, a few other things I wanted to mention. The ski locker. This is something that no other boat brand actually offers. It's unbelievable that this boat has all that subfloor ballast. A lot of boats really rely on a lot of bags, especially a lot of boats even need you to add bags. The Heyday does great with the stock factory ballast and the stock factory bag that you can get with it. But usually the bag comes in here. I got a custom bag that I put in the front bow, which just gives me more customization of where I want the weight, but it also frees up this space, which is amazing to have so much space. I can easily fit 2 wakeboards and 2 wake surfboards in here. I can put just coolers down here, so I can lift this lid and grab coolers. I can put a trash bucket. I can put so much stuff. It's ridiculously deep and big. Super unique to Heyday, and unbelievably useful. The other thing that I wanted to mention it seems like a lot of brands are just now getting into doing, for the affordable side, are doing hinge seats. Heyday still doesn't have hinge seats. So that's one of the things that I wish we had hinge seats, but again, it's a pretty small deal. The racks and the tower. So I actually think that these racks, which are just stock PTM racks that you can buy from the company, are much more robust than the kind of basic stock racks that you get from like on a lot of the other brands, the base Moomba, the base Axis racks. You can upgrade the racks, of course, but these ones are just much longer. The way they hold the board is, I think, just better. Very, very sturdy and good racks, so I like that more than the basic racks you get from other brands. The tower, I think it operates really well. I think it looks really nice. It's got these side points standard. That's an upgrade for some of the towers for the other companies. It's simple to use with these thumb screws. It's easy to put up and put down with one person. I know that a lot of companies are having nice towers, but even like some of them like Axis, I don't like the tower. I don't like the way that the Moomba tower sticks up so high above the windshield, even when you put it down. So especially for clearance and things, I really like the design of this tower quite a bit. Now, also want to look at, yeah, I mean, let's talk about reliability here. So the engine, I'm thinking it's as reliable really as any other powertrain that's offered out there. There's only about 4, and one of them is only used on Mastercraft. But the Inmar, and then some kind of different division of PCM, those are the only real power plant options out there currently. And I think that this is just as reliable of a power plant. Now I guess we'll talk about the whole reason why you buy one of these boats, the performance. I made a whole separate video that shows, compares the performance of all of the different affordable brands. So I think that's a more detailed video, but basically this boat is going to be on par or better than pretty much any of the other affordable brands. That's not to say that it's the best performing boat available that money can buy. Obviously G23s are going to be like the best wakeboard wakes. A lot of people love Centurion as being the RI 230 as being one of the best wake surf waves. I have yet to surf a Centurion, but a Supra is going to perform even better than this boat. But those are, again, like $200,000 boats. So for your money, you're getting something that's not going to hold you back unless you're trying to do really big time tricks on a wakeboard. And even for wake surfing, I mean, I don't know that you're going to be necessarily really held back at all, period.